The movie starts with two police officers driving down a quiet road. In the back seat, there's a dangerous criminal named Krug. At one point, Krug tells the officers he needs to use the bathroom, so they stop by the side of the road. While the officers are making crude jokes and not really paying attention, they reach a railway crossing. As they stop the car to wait for the train to pass, suddenly another vehicle crashes into them. Two masked people jump out of that car and shoot the officers without warning. It turns out they are Krug's partners, Francis and Sadie, who came to rescue him. After the ambush, Krug gets out of the police car and tortures the injured officers before killing them both. That's how the story begins, dark and brutal. Now we meet the main character, Mary Collingwood. Mary is a kind, peaceful girl who finds comfort in water. Swimming is her escape. She feels calm and safe when she's in the water. But lately, her life hasn't been easy. Her parents are always busy with work and rarely spend quality time together. Seeing this, Mary's mom decides they need a break. So she plans a relaxing family vacation at a house near a peaceful lake. The whole family agrees, hoping it will help them reconnect. They drive through a forest and finally reach the vacation house, which is large, modern, and surrounded by nature. There's even a smaller guest house outside, and Mary asks to stay there alone. Inside the house, we see photos of a boy, Mary's older brother Ben. He passed away in an accident, and Mary misses him deeply. She wears a necklace he gave her, keeping it close as a way to remember him. Her parents, still grieving, are very protective of her now. They've already lost one child, and they fear losing her too. Now Mary begins to feel more emotional as she remembers her brother. The sadness weighs on her, and she quietly walks over to her mother, Emma, who is in the kitchen. John, her father, is fixing something in the oven nearby. Mary asks if she can borrow the car to go meet her friend, Paige. Emma hesitates. She's worried because of how much she and John have already lost. But John, wanting Mary to have some normalcy, hands her the keys without much thought. Grateful, Mary heads out right away. Meanwhile, we see Paige working at a small store. Mary arrives there, and the two friends greet each other warmly. While they chat, a quiet boy named Justin watches them from nearby. He's wearing a hoodie and keeping to himself, but clearly listening in. Eventually, Paige notices him and casually starts a conversation. Justin asks her for a cigarette, but Paige, noticing how young he looks, asks if he's even old enough. Justin awkwardly admits he's not, so Paige refuses. But then he mentions that he has something fun at his place, some party stuff. Intrigued, Paige changes her mind and gives him a cigarette. Justin comes across as nervous and shy, hiding behind his hoodie. Still, Paige agrees to go with him, and Mary follows. Once they arrive at Justin's house, Paige goes inside with him to grab the party stuff, while Mary waits alone in the car. She feels uncomfortable sitting there by herself. Suddenly, someone knocks on the car window, startling her. It's a strange woman, asking if she's seen a keychain. The moment is eerie and leaves Mary even more unsettled. When Paige still doesn't return, Mary decides to go inside the house. On the doorstep, there's a newspaper lying on the ground. It has a photo of Krug on the front page, the same dangerous man who escaped from the police. But Mary doesn't notice it and walks right in. Inside, she finds Paige and Justin smoking and goofing around. They invite her to join. At first, she refuses, but they keep encouraging her, so she gives in and smokes with them. Just then, Mary's phone rings. It's her mom, Emma, calling to warn her that a storm is coming and to ask when she'll be home. Mary tries to ask if she can stay at Paige's place for the night, but the call breaks up due to a bad signal. Emma doesn't hear her, and the line goes dead. With nothing else to do, the three teens continue partying, dancing, laughing, and letting loose. At one point, Paige asks Justin about his family. He casually says he lives with his dad and uncle, without going into detail. Later, the girls help Justin try out a new look, styling his hair and clothes to give him more confidence. He actually starts to look like a different person, and everyone is having fun. But suddenly, everything changes. Justin's father and two other men barge into the house. Justin freezes. He didn't know they were coming back. It turns out his father is Krug, the same man who murdered the police officers. And one of the other men is Francis, Krug's brother and Justin's uncle. The girls don't realize who they are at first, but things start feeling off immediately. Francis begins acting strange and intimidating toward them, making Mary and Paige deeply uncomfortable. Sensing danger, Paige quietly asks Justin to help them leave. Justin wants to, but before he can do anything, Krug violently punches him in the back and throws him onto the bed, stopping him from helping. Seeing the danger around them, Mary tries to stay calm and says she won't tell anyone what happened. She hopes that if she cooperates, they'll let them go. But Krug isn't willing to take any chances. He warns both girls to stay quiet and do exactly what he says. Things quickly take a darker turn. Suddenly, Paige sees an opening and makes a run for it. She locks herself inside the washroom, shaking with fear. She pulls out her phone and tries to call for help, but there's no signal. In desperation, she starts yelling through the small bathroom window, hoping someone might hear her. But before any help can arrive, Francis kicks the door in and storms inside. He grabs her phone, smashes it, and begins beating her violently. Mary, who had warned Paige not to anger them, watches helplessly. She knows these people are far more dangerous than they seem. Krug, Francis, and Sadie are completely out of control now. The situation is slipping into horror. The group decides to take both girls with them. They force them into Mary's own car. While Francis and Sadie harass the girls during the drive, Mary holds back her emotions, trying to stay composed. Paige, on the other hand, is panicked and terrified. Justin, sitting quietly and watching everything unfold, feels sick. He didn't want this to happen. He looks on as his father and uncle hurt the girls, but fear keeps him frozen. He's powerless to stop them. Since they don't know the area well, Krug demands that Mary guide them. Thinking quickly, Mary points them down a specific road. She tells them it leads to the highway, but she's lying. The road actually leads back to her family's lake house. It's a desperate move, but it's the only idea she has. Krug believes her and takes the turn, but things spiral again. While the car speeds down the road, Mary suddenly lashes out and stabs Sadie with something sharp she had hidden. She then tries to open the door and jump out of the moving vehicle, but before she can escape, they grab her and pull her back in. Her attempt fails. Tension grows inside the car, everyone yelling, struggling, panicking. Then crash. The car loses control and slams into something. The impact is brutal. Glass shatters. Screams echo. Everyone inside is thrown violently. Blood, smoke, silence. Though injured, Paige sees her chance. She stumbles out of the wreck and tries to run toward the house, hoping to find help. Francis, whose face is now badly cut from hitting the windshield, climbs out after her. Blood drips down his face, his expression twisted with rage. Mary, also hurt but still conscious, tries to escape as well, but just like Paige, she doesn't make it far. Francis catches them both again. Meanwhile, Justin stands quietly on the side, watching everything with fear. He wants to help but doesn't have the courage to do anything. Suddenly, Paige tries to run again. Francis and Sadie chase after her, and after a short struggle, Sadie catches her and drags her back. Then Krug turns to Justin and tells him to do something horrible to one of the girls. Justin refuses, clearly scared and disgusted, but Krug grabs Justin's hand and forces him to touch Mary inappropriately. Justin is heartbroken and ashamed. He blames himself for everything that's happening and goes to sit quietly, unable to handle what he's seeing. Paige, filled with rage, starts yelling and cursing at them. Krug lets go of Mary and walks over to Paige. Without warning, he stabs her deeply in the stomach with a knife. Mary watches in horror, crying helplessly. Paige starts gasping and bleeding badly. Then Mary also curses at Krug, trying to stop him. This only makes Krug even angrier. He turns his violence toward her and does something truly terrible. He assaults her while Sadie and Francis watch and do nothing to stop it. In fact, they support him. Mary screams and begs Justin to help, but he's too broken and traumatized to move. Sadie, even though she's a woman, shows no sympathy at all. Then Krug cruelly takes Mary's necklace, the one her late brother gave her, and hands it to Justin, almost mocking both of them. He continues to abuse Mary for a long time. It's the most horrifying experience of her life, a nightmare she will never forget if she survives. But Mary refuses to give up. With the last of her strength, she picks up a stone and hits Krug in the face, then runs for her life. Francis grabs a gun and shoots at her, but Mary keeps running toward the nearby forest and the lake. She's badly hurt, but she dives into the water and starts swimming as fast as she can. Krug fires several shots, but none of them hit, until the last one finally strikes her in the back. Mary slows down and starts floating in the water. Thinking she's dead, the group leaves her behind and drives away, believing they're finally safe. Now the scene shifts, and sadly, we learn that Paige has died. Her story ends in tragedy. Back at the lake house, Mary's parents, John and Emma, are having dinner, trying to relax after a long day. But then there's a knock at the door. When they open it, they see Krug, Sadie, Francis, and Justin standing there. Krug explains that they were in a car accident and need some help. John, being a doctor, naturally offers assistance. He starts treating their injuries, not knowing who they really are. Justin sits quietly in the background, clearly disturbed. He doesn't say much. Krug does all the talking for the group. Emma, trying to be polite, offers them some food and they accept. The strangers act as if they just want to leave soon, but in truth, they're planning to stay the night and make Emma and John comfortable enough to trust them. As time passes, Emma starts to feel uneasy. Something about these people doesn't seem right. She doesn't want them to stay, but she doesn't voice it too strongly at first. Then the power suddenly goes out, and John heads outside to turn on the generator. While he's gone, Krug and Sadie begin asking Emma strange questions about the property, how far it stretches, who else lives there. Emma grows more suspicious and asks them directly why they came all this way. Krug responds with a made-up story to avoid suspicion. Meanwhile, John manages to get the power back on, and at that exact moment, far away from the house, we see Mary again. She's still alive, still fighting. Somehow, despite her injuries and exhaustion, she continues swimming and finally reaches the area near their home. Her strength and will to survive are incredible. Back at the house, Emma keeps trying to call Mary, but no one picks up. She's growing more worried with each passing minute. Still unaware of the full truth, John eventually tells the guests they can stay the night, just to keep things calm. Emma insists they stay in the guest house, not inside the main home. Later, Justin walks into the kitchen with his cup. As he goes to put it down, his eyes land on something that stops him cold. A picture of Mary on the fridge. The guilt hits him like a wave. He realizes just how badly things have gone. Everything that happened to her, the pain, the horror, it all began because of him. Emma enters and sees Justin staring at the photo. She tells him gently that it's a picture of their daughter. Overwhelmed with emotion, Justin quickly goes to the washroom, trying to collect himself. When he returns, he quietly places Mary's necklace, the one Krug gave him, on the kitchen counter. It's a silent confession. After that, the group heads to the guest house to sleep. Emma, still unsettled, walks with them to the door, then returns to the main house, carrying all of Mary's belongings with her. After returning to the house, John and Emma lock all the doors, hoping to get some rest. But around midnight, they start hearing strange sounds coming from outside. Worried, they step out to check and are shocked to find Mary lying there in a terrible condition, barely able to speak, slumped in a wooden chair. Emma is horrified. She rushes to her daughter and brings her inside the house. Mary is badly hurt and has been shot. John, being a doctor, quickly gets ready to treat her. He asks Emma to bring some supplies so he can remove the bullet from her back. While Emma goes to the kitchen to get the items, she suddenly notices something. Mary's necklace lying there on the counter. It's the same necklace that Krug had earlier given to Justin. Meanwhile, John carefully removes the bullet from Mary's back. When Emma brings the necklace to him, everything clicks into place. One look at Mary's injured body, and John realizes something terrible has happened to her. Someone has and hurt their daughter. Emma tells John she found the necklace in the kitchen, and since only Justin had been in there earlier, they realize the horrifying truth. Krug and his group are the ones who attacked Mary. Emma breaks down crying, devastated by what has happened to her daughter. John stays calm and strong. He tells Emma they need to get Mary to a hospital immediately, but Emma worries. They don't have a car anymore. John reassures her. He reminds Emma they still have a boat nearby and that it's their only chance. He tells her not to worry and just come with him. While all this is happening, Krug and his group are resting in the guest room. He tells everyone to get some sleep, but Justin can't sleep. He sits quietly, staring at his father's gun, clearly lost in guilt and fear. Meanwhile, Emma and John are trying to take Mary to the boat to escape. But when they get there, they realize the boat keys are missing. They rush back inside to search for them. While Emma is looking in the kitchen, Francis suddenly walks in from behind. She's startled and tries to stay calm, worried that he might see Mary's photo on the fridge and realize the truth. To distract him, Emma pretends to flirt. She acts casual and even offers him wine to keep his attention away from the fridge. While Francis is distracted, John finds the boat keys. But then Francis walks out into the main room and sees Mary lying on the table, wounded. Before he can react, Emma grabs something and attacks him from behind. A struggle begins. Francis fights back and starts overpowering Emma. But just in time, John runs in. Together, they manage to overpower him, finally killing him by holding his head down in a pot of boiling water. Knowing that Krug and Sadie won't let them live once they find out Francis is dead, Emma and John make a new plan. They have to take out the rest of them to survive. They quietly return to the guest house, where Sadie, Krug, and Justin are. Justin, still holding the gun, points it at them for a moment, but when John approaches, Justin willingly hands it over. He doesn't want to be part of the violence anymore. At that moment, Sadie and Krug are still asleep, but the noise wakes Krug, who jumps up in confusion and escapes through the window. John runs after Sadie, who locks herself in the bathroom in a panic. Krug, now outside, has no idea what's going on. He runs into the main house looking for answers, but when he sees blood smeared across the table, he begins to sense something is very wrong, though he still doesn't know what exactly has happened. On the other side, John breaks down the bathroom door where Sadie had locked herself. She puts up a fierce fight, and the two struggle violently. Both are full of rage, but in the end, it's Emma who finishes it. She shoots Sadie, killing killing her on the spot. Meanwhile, Krug enters the main house and is shocked to see Francis's lifeless body. Then he sees Mary, wounded and barely conscious, and suddenly it all makes sense. He realizes John and Emma know everything. Just then, John arrives, searching for Krug. Emma is already waiting by the boat with Mary, ready to escape. John calls out for Krug to come out. Krug responds by taunting him, proudly describing the horrific things he did to Mary. The words hit John like a punch to the heart. His anger explodes. Krug sees Emma and Mary through the window and screams that he won't let them escape. John, unable to contain himself, charges at him, and a brutal fight breaks out. At first, Krug has the upper hand. He injures John badly, but John refuses to give up. With all his remaining strength, he strikes Krug with a powerful blow. Krug stumbles, but still doesn't fall. Just then, Justin enters, pointing a gun at his father. He hesitates, struggling to pull the trigger. Krug takes advantage of this moment and grabs the gun from him. Before Krug can do anything with it, Emma bursts in. She hits Krug with a fire extinguisher, and at the same time, John attacks from behind. With both of them hitting him at once, Krug is knocked unconscious. They don't waste a second. Emma, John, Mary, and Justin leave the house and escape together in the boat. Mary slowly opens her eyes, and for the first time in a long while, she sees her parents and Justin with her, safe away from the horror. But the story doesn't end there. After making sure his family is safe, John quietly returns to the house. He finds the unconscious Krug and performs a precise, cruel act, cutting a nerve that leaves Krug paralyzed. Then in cold silence, he places Krug's head inside the oven. As the heat rises, the unbearable pain builds until finally, his head bursts like a watermelon. John's revenge is complete. For everything Krug and his gang did to Mary and Paige, there was no forgiveness, only justice in the harshest form. In the end, Justin, finally free from his abusive father, finds a real family with Emma, John, and Mary. The nightmare is over. So what do you think? Did John do the right thing by taking justice into his own hands? Or should Krug have been handed over to the police? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.